Greetings and welcome to the energy of Virgo. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. I do welcome you to the channel and its contents. Thank you. So let's look into the sixth house. We shall generate the Great Mirror. The Great Mirror is a tool devised by the Order in order to see particularities of meticulous design. That has to do with karmas that are shifting from one party to another. Okay, that is yours truly. That is yours truly, as well as the opposing benefactor or malefactor. Okay, whomever is dealing with Virgo energy, the opposite. Okay, that usually points to the 12th house. Now, the interesting thing about this dichotomy that is mutable earth to mutable water, okay, this has to do with the dissolution of of truths, or to note that every criticism, say, is spurious. It's abstract. No matter how finite you may pinpoint a flow or a cognitive thought. Okay, these things can never be finite. They can never be resolutely truth. Okay, that is the mystery of this axis. Okay, so we dedicate this reading to that mystery, as well as to the ability to find these paths and the progressions of thought that lead to something that resembles truth but never can truly become it. Now, I'm done with that Sagittarian rant. We'll go ahead and move forward with the reading. I'm working with the 1983 deck Royal Fez Tarot, Moroccan tarot deck, and it's a very special deck. We'll go ahead and get started now. Okay, this type of situation, okay, it resembles the penitent path, okay? And on the penitent path, there is humbleness. There's something extremely humbling, okay? It could be cold, it could be isolated, but there's something about the penitent path, okay? This has to do with honoring a certain degree of a half of society, of a half of the whole, okay? And this also points to the geometric dichotomy, okay, of one truth and another's, okay? The trick here is to remain penitent. Otherwise, and penitent basically it means the ability to become humble, to essentially lower one's head. Okay, there's something about this path that has to do with the coming of newness. Okay, newness in terms of new realities. Okay, gateways or portals into what now? Into the Nine of Pentacles. As well, we have here the Six of Swords. There is a way, there's a quest here to find what has been missing by traveling or going about in terms of the mind, letting the mind project elsewhere, yet not finding those truths. Okay, so in terms of this, it's been very humbling. In terms of also the fixed need to bring forward certain realities. Okay, um, extremely esoteric. Already, we have here the seventh house being activated with Pisces energy. Okay. This is for Virgo indeed. Star card. Okay, if there is isolation here, there's something about how to value or revalue or to evaluate. Okay. The ways and means in which you have been providing for others. Okay, this is also a way to have resources, a provisional selfhood. Okay, that's self love, self hope, self care. Okay, this has been very important uh, in terms of the way you are represented. This is how you are seen. There's someone who can provide for others in terms of bringing forward ways and means to give. Okay, to give wholly. Okay. Um, the difficulty of this type of situation is that you're dealing with someone who is not going through the best of times. Okay. And in this, there is difficulty in the path into seeing essentially what can emerge out of this. What kind of new thing can emerge out of this? There is a futility here, and perhaps there's something about them, okay, that needs to find a higher meaning behind it all, okay, whatever that is that they're dealing with, okay, but pain nonetheless, and difficulty nonetheless. There's something about them that is trying to bring forward and add to what? Trying to crown you with something. A crown of truth is what you are searching for, possibly. A way of stability, okay? A way of feeling like you belong in the right head state, okay? These are all possibilities. At the same time, there's a mode of transformation, okay, that has to do with self-love and self-resolution. A movement from the dove into the fish, okay? What are these symbols? From the dove into the fish, and the Ace of Cups being very strongly elicited here. There is a need to express, at least in a Virgoan way, some natural tendencies for resolution of romance as well as of sensuality, okay? Emotional capacity and the ability to express these emotions in a righteous way. At the same time, you want to do this without affecting too many other people, okay? Especially people who have found the truth in their own resolution towards what? Towards self-pity or perhaps self-aggrandizement in terms of their own pains. Someone here consciously knows that they do it to themselves, okay, whatever that means. And there also is a need to, for them to bring you something, to essentially, there's a lot of movement here that is trying to point to the chariot, which is not showing, but the two horses are here for the chariot. The problem is that it's difficult to control two horses without a ways and means, a carriage, to be drawn by the horses. Okay, meaning that the mind and the heart, or the mind and the spirit, are not in unison. There's difficulty, and one is not helping the other. There is a need also to find a sense of order in it all, and there's a lot of disorder in what it is they do. The big thing is that there's a lack of spirituality, and I'm not going to go too far into that, but there's something about what they are potentially trying to balance out in terms of feeling spiritually inept in some sort of way. Um, that is a difficult thing. It's not to say that you are majorly spiritual. I don't see that. There's something about you that is extremely intelligent in an emotional way in order to understand what the influence of a greater design, okay, the patience and the wherewithal to not get too deeply tied into others' emotional projections, okay, and this is a very good thing. There also is that is the 5, 6, 7, 8 of rods, okay. Something about this connection uh, feels like you intuitively have been hit by something, but now there's difficulty in trying to realize what that is. Um, there's a saying that even the greatest warriors can be fools or idiots in love, in matters of the heart. Um, and I'm not saying that is so. I'm not even saying that this is a romantic sort of deal. The thing is that there's a human connection here between the energy of Virgo and another that is essentially difficult to find retribution in, to find some sort of balance. Okay, but if you were to walk the penitent path, okay, and if you were to also, it would be the 6, to realize that if you're on new land and you are trying to not appear foreign in this land, there's something about you that can do this with the fine line. Okay, the fine line here usually indicates a border. Okay, that can be crossed because it is so fine. Um, Meaning that borders are imaginary in a type of so-called reality. Um, all that aside, and that allegory disintegrated, there's something here about the magician in the reverse that represents a form of, one can call it difficulty, in terms of not having the right sort of balance in terms of natural elements. Okay, chemistry between you and another can be somewhat missing here. That's not a bad thing. Uh, some of the best stories happen in difficulty. The thing is that this type of connection requires clear judgment, and that is not being had here. Um, and this is slowly turning into a southpaw. Um, so, what are we left with here? The realm of Aquarius, the humanitarian edge, okay, as well as the Emperor. There's something in reverse. There's something about this that has to do with the release or the abdication of power. Okay, once you can release this, there's an ability to find that this type of connection can still be very powerful, but only in its mystique, in its ability to show how one can be humbled accordingly. Okay, so this reading has been all over the place, and the best advice that I have for you would be to find a sense of balance, okay, between it all. If you are dealing with one and another, there's an ability for you to balance between two various parties, okay, and by understanding essentially the gateway that leads from the Five of Pentacles into whatever else afterwards, there is a way to not have the expectation, okay, and not be enslaved by the expectation, to be humbled by realities that are unfolding for each of you. Okay, and this will provide a sense of balance. Okay, something about you in this situation reflects a type of extremely satirical position. Okay, the satyrs of Capricorn, the satyrs of Baphomet as well, and that whole realm of the fairyland. If you think of it this way, most of fairy tale or the fae has a lot of trickster energy in it. And it doesn't surprise me with the magician in reverse. Okay, the thing is that if you can find that humor, even if it is dark, that revolves around this, perhaps you can jest with it. Okay, and that's what I would suggest with this reading. I hope this has been somewhat helpful. Please take care now. Thank you, my dear Virgo. Bye bye.